Why don't you sit back, rest a spell? It's time for another Cinephile Recapped. Today we're going to be narrating an action thriller movie called The Accountant. Spoilers ahead, so proceed with care. Let's begin. This film follows the double life of Christian Wolf, an overly intelligent accountant with high-functioning autism, who is also secretly utilizing extraordinary fighting, weapon-using, and espionage abilities. By using his unique skill set, he assists criminal and terrorist organizations in moving money safely where they desire, while clearing all the necessary records with remarkable precision and consistency. Sounds intriguing, but before we begin, don't forget you gotta subscribe to this channel and like this video. Also, make sure you stay with us to the very end, because hey, after all, it is a thriller and you gotta find out the ending, right? It also helps us grow our community and also pushes us to strive for the highest quality content. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The movie begins at a shooting site. A man runs into a building where he hears gunshots. He draws the gun out and slowly walks in. Immediately near the door, he finds the first victim of the killer. As he moves up the stairs, he finds a second victim lying down and someone begging for their life. The man advances slowly and passes more bodies, making his way to the door of the room where the begging man is. But before he can do anything, he hears another gunshot, and the begging is halted. The scene now shifts to Harvard Neuroscience in New Hampshire, moving us 30 years in the past. It's a big, beautiful place in a forested area. The young Christian Wolf's parents are talking to the doctor. The doctor diagnoses him with autism. He explains that loud noises, bright lights, fabric sensitivity, hugging, closeness, touching, all can be difficult for Christian. He strives to explain how challenging life will be for Christian, and his mother replies that it's a challenge when it's someone else's child, and it's a problem when it's your own child. The doctor remarks that he would like to help Christian in developing the skills needed to lead a normal life. He offers to help him achieve basic skills like communication, eye contact, understanding normal cues, and making friends. The mother explains that Wolf's father is in the military, which is why they have to move frequently. Consequently, the boy was not able to make friends. So, he only has one friend, his younger brother Braxton, and affirms that they will always move around. The doctor offers to take Christian in for the summer free of charge. Christian's father refuses the offer. According to the father, Christian should be exposed to more things that are bothering him, like bright lights and loud noises. He believes that the world is not a sensory-friendly place, and exposing Christian to less of what is bothering him will not help him. The scene shifts back to the present day. Christian now runs an accounting firm in Plainfield, Illinois. Unlike the other regular businessmen, he doesn't seem very warm or friendly. He's now in conversation with a farmer, Frank, and his wife, who are his new clients. They're having trouble with the payment of the tax. With high property tax, fertilizer cost, and insurance, he sees no option but to quit. His wife Dolores offers to put their tax on the credit card to buy some more time. Christian's eye is caught on the chain Frank's wife wears. She asks him if she likes it, as she made it herself, and he replies with no. When he asks her if she ever sells what she makes, she replies that she only sells a handful at a church fair. Christian suddenly comes up with a plan on how to save Frank's business. He tells Frank Rice's wife to choose the biggest room in the house as her office, because the IRS code allows deductions from taxable income as a percentage of workspace cost. He tells her to use their truck as the company truck so that she may cut further deductions, citing she drives to the bead store to collect raw materials. Christian's expertise brings great joy to the gloomy farmers. In D.C., Ray King, the director of financial crimes at the Treasury Department, has asked for the visit of an analyst named Medina to his office. He asks Medina why she was always working as an analyst and never applied for a promotion to an agent. Medina says that she likes the work and sees herself as a good fit as an analyst rather than as an agent. King now opens up a redacted file about Medina, where it shows that she was convicted for attempted murder, weapons charges, assault, and battery. He tells her lying on a federal employment application is a crime, and he can send her to jail. When Medina asks Ray what he wants, Ray asks her if she likes puzzles. Ray gives Medina a bunch of photos of criminals and terrorists. All of these photos feature a Caucasian male who is facing the opposite of the camera, and his identity is not revealed. Medina spots it. Ray explains that the man was last known as Lou Carroll, which is an alias. He's known as the Accountant. The accountant works with criminals and terrorists to track stolen money and bring it back. King says that he wants to find the identity of the accountant and wants Medina to dig into it. and if she doesn't find out who the accountant is, then he will reveal her secret. Chris returns home and we learn more about him. As he's sitting in the bedroom, he gets a flashback of his mother leaving. Chris runs around the house hysterically and his younger brother watches him. His father tries to console his wife and tries to get her to come back. Chris suddenly starts to throw things at the wall. His father comes back and sings to him a very special rhyme to calm him down. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, grew worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. That was the end of Solomon Grundy. The mother gets into her waiting cab, and the younger brother gives her the middle finger from the window. In the next scene, Chris goes to his trailer, where he stashed all his money and weapons. We also meet Dreamboat, an AI that keeps Chris in check. As he's lying down in the bed of the trailer, Chris gets further flashbacks. This time he's talking to Francis. Francis is Chris's old cellmate. It was from Francis Chris learned about the details of black money and got the contacts. The two of them shared a cell. Dreamboat calls Chris and talks to him about a potential client, Living Robotics from Chicago. They have found money missing in their accounts and want to trace it. Dreamboat has heard that people are looking for Chris from online chatter and wants Chris to work with a legitimate client for once. Chris takes up the offer and meets Living Robotics executives Lamar Blackburn, his sister Rita, and Ed. Ed, CFO of Living Robotics, tells Chris that one of their in-house accountants, Dana Cummings, has found some foul play in the papers, and they want Chris to have a look. Ed doesn't suspect any, because there's no money missing and their books are very complicated. Regardless, Rita wants him to have a look. Meanwhile, Medina is on the search for Lou. She finds that the alias Carl Gauss, which Chris used 5 years ago in Hong Kong, is actually a mathematician. She tries to find similarities in Lou Carroll as well. Finally, she sends one of the pictures Ray gave her for face mapping. Chris meets Dana the next day. She has all the files he has asked, and he immediately starts working. Medina receives a call from her friend. He has found footage in the NYPD database from 2006, which shows the man breaking into a building. He takes out 2 mob enforcers with a steak knife. He strolls into the building and kills 7 men using their own weapons, including Anthony Little Tony Bazzano, the head of the Gambino crime family. Medina's friend finds an audio file, as Bazzano was bugged as part of an ongoing investigation. Medina takes the audio file from her friend. Chris pulls an all-nighter and figures out $61 million has been embezzled from Living Robotics over the years. The next day, he explains everything to Dana. He shows her the invoices that were given from a fake company called Sluit Manufacturing. The checks were cleared by Ed. Chris has found that every bill given to Sluit Manufacturing has the number 3 as the second digit of the bill amount. This was a pattern Ed subconsciously used. As he is explaining more, Rita walks in and she sends Dana away. She asks Chris to give her a report once the investigation is finished. In her home, Medina is going through the audio file over and over. Finally, she isolates the killers singing the already familiar to us rhyme, Solomon Grundy. Now that the secret is out, someone from Living Robotics hires a hitman to deal with Ed. The hitman breaks into Ed's house. He forces Ed to take an overdose on his insulin, and that kills him. The next day, when Chris returns to work at Living Robotics, he finds people cleaning up his office. As he's discussing this with his workers, Lamar walks in. Lamar dismissed Chris. He says Ed killed himself because of the theft, and he cannot forgive himself for driving his friend into his deathbed. The analyst Medina hired to look into the audio clip calls her back. He deduces that the person in the audio has suffered from childhood trauma and is possibly autistic. Medina deduces that all of Chris's aliases are famous mathematicians. She starts digging in and finds his current identity, Christian Wolf. From the IRS database, she locates his office in Illinois. When Chris was at Frank's and Dolores's, the assassins tried to kill him. Chris beats them easily and kills them. One of the assassins tells him that he got the instruction to kill both Dana and him and has no idea who employed them. Chris races to Dana's apartment, where she's under attack. He kills them and saves her. He takes her to his trailer. There, she finds Chris's weapons, paintings, money, and fake passports. She asks about it and he refuses to answer. They go to a hotel, and they're talking about each other. Chris realizes that embezzlement at Living Robotics is working similar to the one at Crazy Eddie's. In this scheme, the money stolen from the company is returned to it. This will boost the profit report and the value of the company will grow. Living Robotics, just like Crazy Yetis, is planning for an initial public offering, and this scheme will drive the stock prices up. Chris deduces it was Rita who was behind all of this. He goes to question her but finds her dead. And now he understands that it was Lamar who was behind all the fraud. Ray and Medina, along with FBI agents, arrive at Chris's house. They find several heavy security tools Chris was using and deduce that they finally have their man. When they're alone, King reveals to Medina that Chris was a prisoner at Leavenworth after he entered a fight with a stranger at his mother's funeral. During the struggle, his father died trying to protect Chris. In jail, he met Francis. Francis was the accountant to the Gambino family and turned against them when they tried to kill him. King was Francis's handler. He was given protection, but his inaction led to Francis being released. Gambino finally got their hands on Francis and they killed him. As he was on the stakeout at Gambino's, Chris came in and killed them. Chris had King at his gunpoint, but let him go after he told Chris that he was a good father. Since then, Chris had been receiving tips through a voice every time someone crossed Chris's moral code. This has helped him solve several cases and eventually became the director of FinCEN. King also tells Medina that he wants her to take over when he retires from his job in a few months. As they are talking, the phone rings. Medina picks up and the voice, Dreamboat, tells her about Living Robotics. Chris arrives at Lamar's mansion. Lamar has an army of hitmen protecting him, but Chris manages to kill them all except for one. The hitman recognizes Chris from the nursery rhyme he was singing, and it was finally revealed that the man was Braxton. It's revealed that they hadn't seen each other since Chris's days in prison. Braxton initially blames their father's death on Chris and attacks them, but they finally make peace. As they're talking to each other, Lamar walks in. He tries to justify his crimes. Chris kills him with a single shot and leaves. Before he does, he tells Braxton that they will meet each other once a week. At Harvard Neuroscience, a new patient meets Justine, the daughter of the clinic's director. She's a resident patient and hasn't talked to anybody in 30 years. But after they leave, it's revealed that she is Dreamboat. Chris also gifts Jackson Pollock's painting to Dana, to which she has shown a lot of admiration earlier. In the movie's finale, we find Chris leaving in his trailer, an Airstream. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed another recap. If you did, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We've got more great content coming up your way. In the meantime, feel free to drop a note in the comments and we will see you next time.